Hey you! Yes, you, Berklee student of various semester level or major completion. Do you want to graduate? I'll bet you do. Maybe even early. That's why you should make a course map. A course map is a spreadsheet used to outline your classes at your time here at Berklee. It's particularly important if you're interested in the professional music major or the Bachelor of Arts program in Music Industry Leadership and Innovation, or MILI. But all students at the college can benefit from organizing their classes in a course map. Each course map is designed to help keep track of what classes you're planning to take in which semester to graduate on time. It includes information at the top like your name, student ID to help your advisor or chair locate your information, majors and minors that you're taking, your degree/diploma type, as well as your catalog year. Course maps should be completed in tandem with your major grid, which outlines all of your major's program requirements. Your catalog year, which is based on your entering semester, is especially important to write down to make sure that no matter how your program changes in the future, your plan won't be affected by any new requirements. So if you entered in fall 2023, spring 2024, or summer 2024, your catalog year for your major grid is fall 2023. All of the different catalog years are based off of the fall previous to the semester that you entered. When looking at a major like professional music, which requires a fully completed course map to enter the major, this course map adds special fields for your concentration/tracks, which are interchangeable name-wise, and distinctions between which classes you're taking for your tracks and which you're taking for your major core. In the bottom right, it'll show 14 for your pro music core and 16 for your concentrations, even though on the major grade it'll show 30 total for all of the classes taken within your major classes. MILI acts similarly, including your specialization, the type of practicum you're completing, and specifying again the different categories your classes fall into based on your major grid. When you start to complete your course map, you'll be faced with this blank template. Once you've filled in all your information at the top that we listed earlier, you can start by inputting any previous semester's worth of classes you've completed. You can specify what year, location, and semester level you completed in this semester at the top of this section. When you enter in a class like Harmony 2, you have 5 criteria to fill: the course code and selection, the course name, the number of credits, which part of the major grade counts towards, and if this class is a part of a minor that you're taking. As you fill in an individual semester, the number of credits from each class will automatically total at the bottom, which will become very helpful as we start to plan our future semesters. If you scroll to the bottom right, you'll start to see your credits are adding up in all of the different areas of your major grid. But wait, you might say, I have transfer credits, or I tested out of some of my core music through my ESPA. How will it know that I completed them? That's why we have the requirements completed without taking the course tab. Filling out this section in the same way that you did your previous courses, all of your totals would be affected at the bottom in the same way they would be if you took them during a normal semester. A lot of people who do this actually find out that they can graduate early. Once you've filled out everything that you've already done, now we have to venture into the unknown. The easiest order of operations we recommend to fill out your future classes goes like this: core music, major classes, liberal arts, and general electives. The order that you take core music classes in are very linear, and you can actually get into some difficult situations by skipping semesters of classes like private instruction or ear training, so make sure that these classes are your first priority when you're making your course map. We tend to separate your core music into performance versus non-performance core, which you'll see on each of your major grids. Your performance obviously will include classes like your private instruction, your ensembles, and your instrumental labs. Within your non-performance core, we like to informally refer to it as your jazz versus your classical core, separating your tonal versus modal music theory classes. All private instruction levels 1 through 4 should be done in each correlating semester, semesters 1, 2, 3, and 4, and your ensembles and labs can be completed at any time so long as you meet the requirements of having 4 ensembles and 2 labs by the time that you graduate. Your jazz classes like harmony, ear training, and arranging are all laid out pretty much exactly as your major grid says. Sometimes in your classical core, you can decide if you want to take classes like tonal harmony and composition 2 at the same time as counterpoint, or take your conducting classes a little bit earlier in your time here. Just make sure that you are meeting all of the requirements that are required of the classes that you are planning to take. Your classes for your major are second most important, because depending on what your major is, these could be very hard to schedule differently compared to what your major grid says. In a very linear major, like electronic production and design, certain classes have to be taken in a certain order because they act as prerequisites for classes in your following semester. However, in a major like professional music, you can take your concentration and pro music elective classes in a much more fluid order, so they're a lot easier to kind of decide what you want to do while you're registering versus laying them out in a very meticulous way. Filling these out first, however, will give you a good idea of what your course load that semester will look like, and so we can start filling in the rest of your major grid with your liberal arts and then your general elective classes. Are you taking a lot of classes with big final projects? Maybe take a few low-stakes liberal arts classes alongside it. Know you'll only have a few big final projects at the end of the semester? Maybe take a few more ambitious general electives. Do you want a more chill summer semester with only a few classes? Get some core music and liberal arts classes out of the way in the shortened semester. Do you want to spend a semester in Valencia and complete a minor that's only available there? All of these scenarios and more can be accounted for when you make your course map. And the best thing about a course map, it's always going to change. If you apply to a major that requires a course map to declare, this isn't your end-all be-all. It's more than encouraged actually that you update this every semester. It's also a great way to experiment with changing or adding majors, concentrations, or minors before actually registering for those classes blindly. This is a living document, so don't be afraid to have even up to 10 copies by the time you graduate. I think I have like 7 or 8 now, so don't be precious with these. You might notice that your course map is beautifully color-coded to indicate what section of your major grid each class is actually accounting for. But, oh no, you tried to copy and paste something from a previous semester and all of your colors are messed up? If you toggle off the button that says color code categories, all of your copying and pasting will not affect any of the colors, and you'll be able to freely adjust things as you want by copying and pasting in the document. You completed your course map, but you're looking at it against your major grid and the credits aren't adding up properly? First, make sure that you're looking at the correct catalog year. It's kind of like saying that maybe the TV isn't working because it isn't plugged in, but most of the time when people's numbers aren't adding up, it's just because they aren't looking at the right major grid to compare their course map to. If your catalog year isn't the issue and you're seeing less than the total credits that you need to graduate, double check that the number of credits for all of your classes are accurate, especially in your liberal arts classes. For example, everyone needs to complete 2 liberal arts electives that are 3 credits each, so make sure that you didn't accidentally sign up for a 2-credit class thinking that that would count as your liberal arts elective. If your credit total is over by a credit or 2, you might not have to actually fix anything. Any classes that you take while fully enrolled that might surpass your other requirements can still be taken for fun and are listed as other and will be grayed out with the color coordination turned on your course map. The general rule is that it's fine to be over by a few credits, but you need to make sure that you aren't under your number of credits or else you can't graduate because you didn't meet the credit requirement. If you have a class that could count for multiple credits, it's recommended that you make it count for the first requirement that it could fulfill, and then find another class for the new open space that creates. For example, in professional music, everyone has to take a music production class, so I took the Producing with Ableton Live class. I'm also taking the Electronic Performance Concentration and Minor, but that also includes Producing with Ableton Live on its grid. Is that a Pro Music Core class, or is that a concentration class? In this case, MTech 230 counts towards your Pro Music Core because it'll count as your production class, but it also counts towards your minor, so you can mark that on your course map. This allows you to add another class off of the concentration grid to count towards your concentration classes. If you're not initially sure what liberal arts class or general elective classes you want to take specifically, but you want to plan your entire time here to make sure that all of your totals are adding up correctly, it is totally okay to add a placeholder with the number of credits that you need. But if you're planning on submitting this to apply to a major, it's important that you choose specific class selections to show that you know how to plan this for your future semesters when you use this to apply to the major. You can absolutely change it for the future, but the course map that you submit to declare your major is just kind of a proposal to show that you know what you're doing. It's not set in stone. And with that, you've completed your first course map. Yippee! If you need any help, either getting it checked over before you declare your major, or just trying to start it in the first place, your Success Advisor or SAM is a great place to start. Good luck!